Yeah, g'day. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another episode of Strinbark Podcasting. Just a short little one today. I thought I might just cover the State of the Union that was in America today, that the Republicans held Trump, J.D. Vance and Mike Johnson sitting in the background. So I thought I might just have a quick yarn about that. And not once again in Australia, not too much happening. There's still the Pauline slandering from what I've seen on the mainstream media news. But unless you're listening to other like-minded podcasters or social media influencers in Australia, then the rubbish that you get from the mainstream media news is just boring. It's the same. It's repetitive, and it's always leaning that one way. So yeah, to be quite honest, I don't even know how half of them are still going because they get fuck all views. They're useless. The reporting's not even there. I think I kind of do is not as bad of a job, but I don't have the experience. Obviously, they're journalists where they've gone to uni and studied. Obviously, I have not done that. I'm just a typical Aussie, hard-working country folk, and yeah, I'm like kind of the total of the opposite of the person that you see on the mainstream media news, but more authentic. You know what I mean? And I think that's the way the world's going, especially with this AI, robotics, and digital, online, just all that. You know what I mean? So like person to person, real person, authenticity. Real person, the authenticity of real humans doing their thing. You know what I mean? And something a bit different. I'm sure you might not see many ugly, hairy buggers like me. So like 2016 to 2020 during the whole Trump running for election and then getting elected, doing the 4 years. So doing news and research and during that time and going down all the rabbit holes and all that, and then through the 2020 election, which was rigged, and then even post that, kind of not following it as much, still keeping an eye on what the Republicans, the Conservatives, and Trump were up to, but more so just fucking embarrassed from what the Biden and the Democrats were doing. It's horrible. Anyway, we've kind of got the same left-leaning government in Australia, but I think things are kind of turning around a little bit from what I can see. At the end of the day, Albanese's got no voice really. At the end of the day, Albanese's just got strings attached. He doesn't come up with any actual action or anything. He just gets told what to do. So yeah, we know how it is. Anyway, so the alliance between the Five Eyes, the alliance that Australia has with other Western nations, especially England, America, Canada, New Zealand, Europe, certain European countries, Japan, India to a degree, more so now India and less China, which is kind of good to a degree. Obviously, we're for Australia only, but obviously, being Australia is not the only continent on the world. You still need to have mates, and we propose that it's the mates that we've had since our founding fathers made this great nation, which is the AUKUS partners, the Five Eyes nations, especially America. That's why whenever I hear these mainstream media puppets and peanuts saying that we should leave America and we should not support America anymore, well, we've fought in every war, pretty much every war. I'm pretty sure it's every war that we've had since 250 years. Australia and America and other countries, other Five Eyes nations, have fought together in battle, and we've served together, we've fought together, we've died together. So that means something, and we don't want to tarnish that, and we don't want to lose that. Yeah, because Trump's doing his thing. We're aware that the multipolar world order, or that bit of a heritage foundation that was started around the 70s, and Nixon, Kissinger, whatever, a few other people, um, winding up now towards the end and go the way they thought. So the last 10 years or so has just been a bit of a battle between all countries and sorting it out, and it's still going. So, if you get into it and you do your research and you go down all them rabbit holes, you kind of know what's going on in the background. That's what mainstream media won't tell you. So you can do some research on a few just of those talking points that I mentioned. But yeah, so like I said, I thought I'd have a quick yarn today about the State of the Union speech that Trump gave today. Apparently, it was the longest speech ever given in America's history. I don't know how long it went on for, but it went on for a while. And I listened to it on a live kind of a chat with Nick J. Fuentes on Rumble. So he was kind of chilling down on the right hand corner, doing a voiceover, but not too much of a voiceover, so you could actually listen to Trump and whatever was going on. He'd kind of cut in at perfect times in between clapping or Democrats were yelling or something, or you know, like Trump does, he kind of rambles on and he can get drifting off. He can drift off in 4 or 5 different directions, but like 5 or 10 minutes later, he'll come back to what he was originally talking about. It's quite phenomenal. I've listened to his speeches ever since he was running for the election. Even when when he was on CNN, I think it was, and they had the panel of all the people who were going to be nominated for president, and he's in front of them all. And yeah, I've listened to his speeches right from the start, and they go for ages, and they're good. A lot of information, funny, and yeah, he can turn a crowd. That's for sure. Obviously, look how popular his rallies were. They were massive. They were filling up football stadiums, fucking universities. They were filling up the biggest arenas you could get. So yeah, he just made some key points about what he had accomplished. Obviously, because that was the longest speech in history, he obviously had a lot to talk about. So he must be doing something good, because he had a lot to talk about. So yeah, he was just talking about the closing the borders. He was talking about getting rid of the mass immigration and deportations as well. Um, which the radical left have been making hard because they've infiltrated the media and they've infiltrated the politics. So between the media and the politicians against Trump and the deportations that ICE were carrying out, um, I heard that they weren't even allowed to go into prisons or juvenile detention centres to take out the criminals because they get in the Democrat-run states, because they wouldn't let them. So yeah, just things like that, and the media always on them, bad publicity and whatever. Now, like they come in to do a job that's not meant to be pretty, and I don't think the things these illegal immigrants and any criminals do to become an illegal immigrant or become a criminal are nice things either. They're obviously getting kicked out of the country for a reason. Now, I understand that you haven't done a crime, but from what the American Constitution says, it's if you cross the border illegally, then you are an illegal immigrant. You have to find meaningful and lawful ways to cross into America. It's like that in every country. We in Australia are very lucky because we're not connected to any country. The only way you can get here is by a boat, and good luck, unless you're a millionaire. But you come. But yeah, anyway, so it's very hard to come here. America and other countries, Europe, England, so much different. That's why those countries are just, you know, not looking the best. One key note that I noticed as well is kind of like how disrespectful the Democrats are. Now, I'm not saying all the Democrats because they all didn't stand, but it's the radical left. Like I said, the radical left are diabolical to our Western civilization. Have infiltrated everything you can think about that is good, that is good for people, that is our country, and they've turned it against us. They're trying to destroy us with it. Trump made mention of the poor young lady on the train in New York City, the Irina Zarutsky. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. I'm pretty sure it's not far off. Irina Zarutsky, a little blonde-haired lady, teenager, possibly 18, 19s, coming home from work, mate, on the train, subway, just chilling the earpods in. It's very sad. I remember seeing it, and I don't. It's one of them things that you don't forget. Anyway, yeah. So it's yeah. Anyway, the Democrats let old mate out who did the hateful act. This evil person. Democrats let him out on no cash bail. Apparently, he's a repeat offender. And he was not a nice person. Hence why he's meant to be in jail. But unfortunately, because the radical left have infiltrated the Democrats, they don't have rules. They let people out like that, and they carry on like muppets. And it's not fair on the citizens or the people who are in those cities, the the locals, the Americans. I'm talking about this in New York. Not fair at all. So so yeah, Trump's seeking all justice for the heinous killing of Irina Zaruski on the train, and he believes that he's going to make it happen. That's his priority. Um, Irina's parents were there, and they were sitting next to Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, and that was another thing. Trump hailed Charlie Kirk at Strinbark Podcasters because we're Australians and we're of Western nation, we're of English speaking language, we're of European British heritage, and we love our freedoms, and we're Christians proudly. We support Charlie Kirk. We support free speech, and we're devastated by what happened to Charlie. And it's up there for me, and it's up there for me, and yeah, it's not good. Poor Charlie. Rest in peace, sir. So yeah, the radical left part of the Democrat Party didn't stand for fuck all, really. They didn't appreciate what Trump was saying. Um, Pretty much the question was given to all. Trump gave the question, and the question was, if you do you stand for the American people, or do you stand for the immigrants? Pretty much, and yeah, the Democrats didn't stand. So clearly, now it's not immigrants in general. It's not the immigrants that are coming in lawfully, legally, working hard, contributing to their countries, not causing crimes, not doing nuisances, not getting into gangs, not being a part of society and running amok and being stupid. You know what I mean? It's not the good immigrants who come in, do the right thing, work hard. The American culture belongs to them as much as it does the Americans. We're all for that. It was the illegal immigration that Trump was referring to in that question, and the Democrats didn't stand. So obviously, like we already know, they are for illegal immigration. They are for open borders. They are for men and women's sports. They are for a lot of bad radical left ideologies, and it's not good. So not standing for anything good Trump was saying, or even acknowledging Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk being there, even acknowledging Irene Zaruski and her family being there, and many other patriots that were acknowledged as well. The Democrats didn't stand and clap and cheer as one American person. They decided to sit down and be sour. And now I don't know what that achieves. Like if you can't get behind the citizens of your own country, then like what's the good of you, really? It makes no sense. It makes no political advantage towards the Democrat causes. So yeah, I don't get it at all. A couple of other good things Trump was saying as well is that $1,776 are going to every military person serving. He has already restored all acting service people who were kicked out due to COVID or any other lefty nonsense uh, rules. Is tariffs, as once again a mainstream media issue, is trying to make tariffs to be out as a bad thing for a country. I believe all countries pretty much pay tariffs or arcs of a tariff of some sort. So it's not the end of the world, and it's like it hasn't been done before. The tariffs have brought economic wealth and safety for America. So it's not a bad thing at all. The stock exchange isn't doing half bad. I believe Trump said that it's up there at the highest and it shouldn't have reached that peak for another few years. So if you're investing in stocks and other financial assets similar, I think you're doing pretty well. You definitely ain't losing money like the damn dollar is or the inflation on the dollar anyway. Trump also said that he was opening up a new branch to deal with fraud and corruption in America, and it's going to be led by J.D. Vance. I believe that's a good thing because any government or any big business corruption or outsider influence or, brown paper bags or whatever you want to call it, against your country and propping up and helping other countries is not good. And there's a word that starts with T, and that's what it is, and that's what you are. So, it's been too long of us just beating around the bush and, haven't seen no serious action to help our great country and help our fellow Australians. I believe if all this nonsense hasn't happened over the last 30 or 40 years, my fellow Australians, my country, and all Western nations, for all countries, for this sake, would be doing way better off from corruption, lobbyists, big business, and the elites. They've had it too good for too long. Now you need to share the pie. You need to help out my hard-working citizens around the world who get up every day. It needs to, it needs to happen, right? We need to bring it back a little bit. Help the middle class. Help the lower income earners. And do what societies once did. They gave us a chance. They gave us an option. Like I've said before, the functioning means of a society is that the low income earners and even the middle class can better their families and better themselves and better their next generations by hard work, grit, determination, and a fair government and a fair go. Right? And it's all being taken away from us. It's just like you pay bills on bills. It's like you're working harder, but you're getting less. You're doing less, but you're working more. Like, come on. Like, this is what we're talking about now. It's been too long. And you can see it around Australia and even the world, like people are waking up to the fact. So it's good to see. With the Iran and USA war, Trump did mention one thing that there was a treaty signed, I forget the year, but it was for Iran to not ever possess nuclear weapons or to be able to enrich uranium. Like Trump reckons they have missiles that can reach Europe now. They have missiles that can reach US bases, and they have a potential of making missiles that could reach the homeland of America. So I know Trump was talking about putting in an Iron Dome. So yeah, obviously it's breached the contract if there is one. I've only just heard this off a podcaster. I didn't see the legislation or the paperwork. But yeah, so they're the rules. So I'm not sure what's going on, but Trump gave him 10 days, and I'm pretty sure we're down to 5 days now. We're halfway, and I don't think anything's been resolved. I believe they've sent more military assets to the Middle East again. And now I also believe that the Americans have sent fighter jets to Europe, and they only go to there for one reason. So I don't know what's happening, but we're going to keeping a close eye on that. And it's once again, it's things that you won't hear on the mainstream media news. So yeah, I urge you to try and have a listen to that State of the Union speech if you haven't already. Give me some feedback and let me know what you reckon. It went on for ages, and this is the I didn't listen to the Biden one. I listened to a bit of it, but I listened to two of the Trump ones, and Yeah, another thing that I heard that was a Trump policy was he was also giving every newborn child, and I think every child under the age of 18 or 16, um, $1,200 in a savings account that's in this American stock market, and it will be put aside for them. And at the age of 18, they'll be able to gain it back out or invest it into whatever. They reckon that if you leave it for that period of time, it'll be over 118, $120,000 American USA cash. So that's another good incentive. See, like these are the incentives that we want to hear. We want to hear incentives like tax breaks on citizens that get up every day, every week, every month, all year, year over year, and get no tax breaks. What you keep giving us less back every year at tax time, you give us nothing else for just getting up and doing the right thing every day. You know what I mean? So like just little things like that. Like that's always been one for me. Like if you get up every day and do the hours, days worked, and it gets tallied up every year somehow, I don't know, but the government for doing the right thing, the good incentive for contributing back to society, raising a family for Australia for the next generation, looking after yourself. You're not dependent on the government. You've got your rental, you've got your own house, your cars. Like you're a functioning citizen of a great society every day, every year, and you get no reward. Um, Let me know what you think about that. I'm genuinely interested to want to hear your feedback on that one, or anything. So, yeah, I urge you to listen to the State of the Union. Once again, I got home again late. We're really getting pushed for work at the moment, eh? Doing serious hours, pretty much leaving at 4 in the morning and getting home in about 6:45, and only work half an hour away. So yeah, that's hours work, which is hours paid. So it's good. And like I said, you take it when you can. It all goes away and gets us in front, and that's one less stress. If you can have money put aside and know you're on top of everything, it's definitely a peace of mind, and I'll literally do anything for that. So happy days. But yeah. So thanks for joining me on this quick episode of Strinbark Podcasting, and the channel's going pretty well. So I'm going to see how it keeps going. Please give me all the support you can. I much appreciate it. So like, comment, share, tell your mates. Give a shout out to my local country folk out in the West Australia. Um, our farmers, our irrigators, our cattle workers, our truck drivers, our fly in, fly out, drive in, drive out workers, everyone that works out in the West that feeds the nation and helps the world in some way, minerals, mining, whatever you want to do, all in the West, in the country. Shout out to you. They're the backbone of our great nation, so they need all the love and support and the limelight that we can give them, especially out here in my local area of the Western Downs. Such a beautiful area. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you up next time. Hooroo.